And we are recording. So I would just like to have 1 second where you just give me your express permission to record and share this. Uh,
I give you my express permission to record and share this.
okay, great. Thank you. So you are Robin, right?
Yes, I am. Yes, that's right.
And we met through an OkCupid match.
That's true. Yes, you gave me a quest, and I was interested.
Yes. Based on what I presented, what about the project appealed to you?
Um, uh, well, I have been brought up in like ecological sense. How you say that in English? Like to care for nature, to be sustainable, and all that stuff. Because when I was little, we lived in. We called it an eco-bouwhuis. It's like ecological built house, and it has like an whole how do you say that, a group of people that got together and they built that and they designed it and they lived it, and my mother still lives in that house. It's a nice house, nice neighborhood, and I always thought that we do this as sort of pioneers. And when I was a child, I thought we were the pioneer, and when I grow up, everybody is going to do this kind of thing. And it wasn't like that. It's even turned around, because that sort of group of people that came less serious about being ecological and stuff. So for me, it's like, what the hell happened? Why aren't we doing those things, all of us, that I was doing as a child? We had like solar collectors for energy and not like the electrical energy, but it heated up to water for the showers. And for me, as a growing boy, that was not good, because we have to do it like sort of shower shuffle. Like you have to do it hotter, colder, hotter, colder, hotter, colder to reach a good temperature. So for me, it was like I was suffering for the environment. And later, everybody was going to do the same thing. And they're not doing it. So for me, it's something that came with my upbringing. I feel for sustainability. I think I have, after leaving my parents' house, I have rebelled against that, as you do as a teenager, because I didn't want to do. I wanted to have a fast car, and I wanted to do a lot of stuff. So I increased my carbon footprint quite a bit, but it's always been close to me. I only think that, and when I heard about your quest, I was at first intrigued by the way you presented it, and that was funny enough. And then I was reading on about it. I was thinking, "Van, oh, this is a serious thing. Huh? It's something they do." And you showed me the platform you were working on, and I thought that it could work. I don't know if it's gonna work. Of course, it's a lot of things like this fail, but it's always good to try, and every little bit helps. And I think that slowly, how do you say, the thought that we really got to do something is becoming mainstream. Scientists have been knowing it for like 50 years or something, and slowly we're beginning to do it. So I think this might be a good time for the platform you're trying to launch. So that's why I feel like I'd want to, how do you say, help with that. Yeah, exactly. And personally, I like road trips, and I like driving, and I like an adventure. So, and I have the time for it. So for me, it was like, I'd like to pursue this a little further.
Cool. Actually, what do you normally do?
What do I normally do? Well, I tend to say I'm retired, and that's sort of half the truth, because retirement, especially at my age, is not something you do. I used to have a company in youth care, and in Holland we are a rich country. Only the youth care is subpar, and that's sad friendly, because it's a complete mess. And part of it, because of that mess, my company could grow big, because we attended to the mess. We took people that the normal care did not reach anymore, and we reached them, and we helped them, and we were paid by parents and schools and other people that were just fed up that they saw youth go astray, and they reported it to the services, and nobody did something about it. But we did something about it, and that worked for a lot of years. But in the eyes of the official people, we were expensive and not the official people. And a lot of children that I had under my care, I had to give back to the official care. And then a few months later, I had a crying mom on the phone that they didn't do what they told they were going to do. And at first, I was always fighting that, and I loved it. I loved going against the big organizations and making sure children get what they need. But after it went sour so many times, I was starting to suffer myself. So I had to quit. So I quit it. I stopped working, and I have a bit of forest now next to my house, and I can show you a bit because I'm sitting in it right now.
So cute.
And so I spend my days working in the forest, doing some other volunteer work, and slowly getting myself back together. So that's why I have all the time in the world to do stuff at the moment.
That's really great. Okay, so all right, you've already given a little bit of a hint about this, but more specifically, what are your thoughts on sustainability? Like, what do you think sustainability truly means? Because some people will say that actually it's not enough to look at the Sustainable Development Goals. It's not enough to have biodegradable labels because that might be greenwashing. It's not enough to have organic farming. So what does sustainability mean to you?
Well, the actual word sustainability to me would mean that we find a way to exist that is sustainable. So in the sense that we don't take more than that is produced. We don't, so that our existence doesn't not degenerate, but take down the earth, because that's where we live, of course. So my stance on sustainability has been that we're too late. We should have done a lot of things, but that is not a productive stance. So I think we should do everything in our power to keep this planet hospitable for ourselves, but also to all the creatures we cohabit this planet with. And I don't really know if it's still an achievable goal. I hope that there will be technological advancements that will make us be able to get this goal. Because I am afraid that with the current technical stuff, we're not going to do it. It's not going to be enough. And like I said, I have been brought up with this stuff. So I've been living it. And I think when I was a child, we had a good chance to do something about it with the technology we have. But now there's going to be big. We're gonna have to pay a price. You know, our living standard that we have here in the Western world, it's not possible to provide that to everybody in the world, and that's not a possibility. And so, to be sustainable, we in the West, we shall have to scale down. We shall have to take less. And the problem is, I don't think people will be do that out of their own accord.
Free will. Yeah, that's true. It's very hard to step down in lifestyle.
Yes. So what I think that needs to be done is that it's got to be top down. Because what is doing now, our governments are all saying, making it something like a consumer choice. Consumers should make a good choice. They should buy green. They should do this. That's not going to work. Because not everybody has that mindset. It's got to be, in my opinion, it's got to be top down. People got to be made to choose the green choice. Or even better, there should be only green choices. When you go to the supermarket, it shouldn't be like I can choose the egg that chickens have suffered for, and the egg that chickens suffered less for, there should be only eggs that chickens suffer less, or even better, maybe no eggs at all. But I don't know if that's possible. It's just I think that there's being played a very cynical game of blame. So the people in power tell the consumers, you have the power to change. You have to change. You have to buy the green stuff and so. But that's not the way it's gonna work. I think if we gonna continue on that path, it's not gonna work. It's got to be something that's pushed onto people. But that's my personal opinion.
Yeah. Okay, I get that. But I mean, I wouldn't say push onto people, but more like pushed onto the industry, because that is where the problem occurs.
Yeah, okay, but I would say if I say people, I mean men, and I mean not men, women, but the race, us, we as people. And I think that the thing is that also the companies and the people in charge are also people. So I agree with you. It should be mandatory. That's the thing.
Yeah. I mean, basically, we should just only do things that lead to a livable planet, because otherwise
Exactly.
everything else
And-
is suicide.
Yeah, exactly. And even if we start doing that today, there's a chance it won't be enough, and that's a very harsh reality. And I like to deal with the harsh reality, and I think that even if I believe it's too late, it's still worth a try. Because if you don't do nothing, it's all going to go to hell anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't think I can save the world by myself, but I can do little things, and this might be one of them.
Yes. Okay. So, I have a question.
Yes,
On your profile, it says that you're an experienced Dom.
yes, I am.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, it depends a bit if you're gonna, because I'm being recorded right now, and I'm doing this under my own name. Yeah, it doesn't matter that much because I am quite open about this stuff. I used to be very active in the scene as well, in the BDSM scene in the Netherlands. Not so much anymore, and my all my family and stuff know about this, so it's not that people are going to be so shocked. So when you want to know about experience, though, well, what do you want to know? What makes me?
Well, I do want to specifically know if you keep it to the bedroom or if it's like a kind of a lifestyle thing.
For me, it's definitely a lifestyle because it's something that's inside of me. It's something that is me. It's not something I play. It's more like that I shed the layers of I don't know the English word for this, but the layers of culture that we have, because we act in a certain way in social interactions because we want to be a good person. And that was a problem for me when I discovered at a very young age, when I was like 10, I had a little girlfriend and I threw her on the floor and she was hurt. And she was like, oh, that hurts. And I liked it. And I was shocked. Oh my God, because I thought it made me a bad man. The man my mother warned me not to become, because that was the idea I had. So I put it away very deeply because I don't want to be like that. But that made my sexual exploration kind of a problem because I couldn't do what I wanted to do. I wouldn't let myself be like how I was. So in my teen years, this was kind of like made me stuck sexually. And then halfway my 20s, I met a woman that wanted me to use her. That's exactly what she said. Use me for whatever you want. And that made a click in my head because, oh, if she wants me to, then it's okay. Then it doesn't make me a bad man, not the man my mother warned me for. And I have to say my mother is a very active feminist. This was the one who was burning her bra and was standing on the barricades and stuff like that. So she raised me not to be that kind of guy, But I, with the consent that woman gave me, I could make it. It could be a part of me, and it didn't make me a bad guy. It didn't make me that kind of guy, because it was. And I actually, a lot of years later, I talked about it with my mother, and she was shocked at first. She was shocked that women would want to submit, because to her that was like, you're not gonna do that. What the hell? We just fought off that submission for hundreds of years, and we came to the point that it's post-feminism, because it is women making a choice. They choose that they want to serve me, to be dominated, to do all those things. So it is feminism. It's not a way. It is a way forward instead of a way back, like my mother maybe saw it. So what was the question? How did you state your question? Because I'm staying a lot. You wanted to know.
No, I wanted to know if you kept it to the bedroom or if it was.
Oh, that was it. Yes. Okay. Well, I was asked that. Now I know what I was saying. I was telling you how it's a lifestyle for me.
Yeah.
And, it's not like it has to be like that, because it all depends on the person I have BDSM with, because it could be that for her it is only in the bedroom. Well, that's okay too, but for me it's not something that comes and goes. I don't have to act on it all the time, of course, because I'm also amicable and a social guy, but it is always there for me. So I would say that it's a lifestyle, but it's not something that I have to do all the time. I don't wear. Yeah, you have people that why it's not a lifestyle for me. Totally, I don't like to confront non-BDSM people with it. So to people that don't do BDSM, I don't do BDSM. It's not. So so it's a lifestyle, but I don't preach it.
Okay, so let me tell you about me and how that would work for me. I am very curious about bondage.
Yes.
Very much. Not into pain.
Okay.
And also, I recently lived with about 11 other housemates, majority of whom were male. And I found myself a little bit shrinking as a person, because it was a lot of male energy, and I wasn't really standing up for myself. Yes. So I would not want to have a man dominate me outside of the bedroom.
Oh, that's not. Well, for me, that's not a problem if you don't want that. That's not something that I need or something, or that I'm gonna. I'm gonna dictate what you have to dress or something. That's not, and you have to see it like this. I think is that the wishes, the wishes and limits of a sub are always how do you say are always what we go by in BDSM. It's always a consent. So if you tell me I don't want this, this, and this, well, that's okay. That's how it works. They call it the negotiation. I don't really like this word negotiation for this process, but you talk about it, and then you come to a point from this you do and this you don't do. A lot of subs have so-called checklists, just a list of things they do want to do and don't want to do. And you don't have to have that, but it's a sign about how it's what people. I think what a misconception about BDSM is that it's about the dom, because of course it is in a way, but the real power is with the sub, because the sub decides who gets to have power over her or him, and how far that goes. So that's what's called the power exchange. So it's always, if you're a sub. And a dom tries to explain it in any other way than this, then it's not an experienced Dom, or he doesn't understand how it works. Because if that wasn't the case, it'd be abuse. It has to be like the sub is in control, he has the power. And it's also that, what I always say to subs, it's not like if you say yes one time, it's always that yes. You can always come back to that. It is, and I always say, it could even be that there's something that we have a session on Sunday and I do something and you think it's awesome. And we have a session the next week and I do the same thing and you don't want it. That's okay. That can also happen because people have different tastes at different moments. It's how you feel, it's how you feel that day and all the stuff. So no, it's never a problem if you do want something or don't want something, because it's something we talk about. And it could be that I say, if you don't want to do that and that and that and that and that, then there's not much left for me. Well, that's part of the negotiation, then it won't really work. So your question, if it's okay that you don't want to be dominated outside, that's totally okay. And even further, I'm not really interested in dominating so much of a person's life or something. It would take way too much of my own energy.
Oh, that's a plan.
Yeah, exactly. And then somebody calls you up, I don't know what to do today. Yeah, I don't know either. But there have been subs that work like that. I even had like a date with somebody and we were just sitting and talking. And after a while she just looks at me and said, when are you going to start being dominant? And I was like, well, not here in this cafe. And we have to still talk about a lot of things. And then it was a letdown for her. She didn't want it like that. She wanted me to be in that cafe like, and now you're going to drink coffee and not tea, and I want you to do this. And that's what she wanted, but that's not something I really do.
Okay, this is all very interesting. Okay, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Are you woke?
That's a question. I think I have always been woke, even before the word was there. I think that is part of my upbringing. And I think a lot of things that are discussed right now are not a discussion for me. So in that sense, I would say yes, I'm woke. On the other hand, I do have some, how would you say, I do sometimes criticize the way it is handled right now. And I have sometimes a problem with the militant approach of it. But that said, I also know that if you want change, you have to go in hard. So in that case, in that sense, it's okay. But I think so. To summarize, I would not call myself woke because of the connotations that come with it. But I do support all the movements within it, so to say. So
I would say I'm the same, actually, because I've never once said, I barely even use the word. It's really funny that I even use it as a question. But I definitely support and believe in and all these things. But in terms of identifying around this kind of thing, it's not something I would say, yeah, this is me. No. But certainly everything that comes out of it, aside from the negative, like militancy of it, as you describe it, is pretty much, I support.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been in a camper van with someone before?
I've owned a camper van.
Okay.
So the idea is to go with a camper van.
Yeah, I found this really cool solar-powered camper van quite a few months ago.
Does it also drive on solar energy?
Yes.
It does?
Yes.
Wow.
It's very cool.
Damn.
I don't know if they are ready, if their prototype is good enough for manufacturing
Oh yes.
and all that stuff, or if they have, but they have toured around with it before. So I know that it drives. I don't know how fast, especially because, if you have to sit down and charge it, so it would be a slow trip, but I think that's part of the fun because then you can like camp out somewhere sunny and then like have a couple days where you do something and then we work for one day and then we camp out for 2 days and
No, that
I,
sounds very good. But I also think if you could do that, it takes away the first criticism you will get on this trip. Is if we do this with a diesel-powered camping car, people will say, "Where's the sustainability in that?" You know. And if you do it with something like this, it just fits the whole picture. So that sounds good. So I don't really have a problem with staying in the camper van. It just depends a bit about how good we get along.
exactly.
We're going to be very close with each other then for a very long time. So it's a bit. And I was wondering about that, where we were supposed to sleep on this quest.
Yeah. I mean, my main thing is that if I start to get annoyed, you can fuck me back into a good mood. So.
Oh, well, that's easy. I think the same applies for me.
What else? So you like to travel a lot?
Yes, I do, but I haven't been in the last couple of years because of circumstances. Yes.
Okay. What's your most memorable travel experience?
My most memorable presto. I think that's always. I think the questions about the most, the best.
Yeah.
That's hard for me, but I can give you a memorable travel anecdote. Let's see. What can I give you? Well, one of the things that was eye-opening to me is when I went to Cuba. And I drove around there and I met a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I remember sitting on the beach talking to a Cuban. And during the conversation, he said something, and yeah, but you're rich, of course. And I said to him, rich? I'm not rich. If you come to Holland, you will see that I am not rich. I'm considered lower middle class or something. And he looked at me very intently and he said to me, you are sitting right now on a beach in Cuba. For what? And I'm saying, a holiday? He said, yeah, for fun. You are rich. And I was like, damn, I'm rich. Yeah? And not in the way I always thought about rich people. Because I always thought about rich people, the people in Holland that have more money than me. But being a Dutch citizen, even in the deplorable financial state I am now, I am rich. I am rich compared to humanity, to all of humanity. And this guy really opened my eyes in that, because in a lot of ways he was a better person than I am. And I mean that he had finished his university, he had a family, he had a lot of things going on, but still, he could not leave that island. And I came to that island just for fun. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of the most memorable travel things, because I think that a lot of people say that, of course, is that travel opens your eyes. And that was a moment for me that the store opened my eyes. And I still think about that sometimes when I am feeling like I don't have enough, or I want more stuff, or want something. I think about that guy on that beach that has more potential than me, but he can never get to that potential because he can't leave that goddamn island.
Yeah.
So that's and I have others. Another type of memorable experience was maybe I used to do a lot of mountain biking, and I'm pretty seriously. That's why I had the camper van. I drove around Europe to different spots for mountain biking and stuff. And I was in Sweden, and I was mountain biking alone. A friend of mine didn't want to come that day. He was by the camper van. And I was biking up the tallest mountain in middle Sweden or something. And when I was on the top of the mountain, when I was climbing the mountain, I encountered a Danish couple. and they asked me, "Are you a Dutchman?" And I said, "Yes, I'm a Dutchman. Why do you ask?" And they said, "Well, in our travels, when we encounter a man on a bicycle in a very strange place, it's mostly a Dutchman." So that's, and I was their Dutchman then. But I remember I was on top of that mountain, and it was above the tree line, so it was completely barren. And I saw thunderclouds approaching, very big, and I saw the lightning. And at first I was like, "Oh, that's cool! That looks so cool! It's getting closer! Oh, it's so cool!" And then I thought, "Damn, I am on top of a mountain above the tree line. I am in danger, because if it strikes, it's gonna strike me, because I'm the tallest thing there." So I remember racing down the mountain, and then the thunder starts, and I was like, "What do I do? Do I continue, or do I stop?" And I stopped, and I lay down in a ditch, because I thought then the thunder is not gonna hit me. And after laying there in the rain, I thought, this is not a solution as well, because I am now getting hypothermia and stuff. And I got back on my bike and I drove down. And when I got to the tree line and I felt safe again, the sun also shined through, and I had a lot of downhill to do still. And I remember that piece of downhill, I remember so vividly, and it was like magical. And so that will always stay with me. So I think that's sort of a selection of memorable moments.
Nice. Okay, so sometimes I like to get philosophical and deep. And the one thing that stuck out to me is when you told that story of you and the girl at 10 years old.
Yes.
Like, somebody watching might say, "Ooh, red flag," because you liked giving someone pain.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, so should she go on a trip with a person like this on a car ride? But no, I really value the honesty, because there's something, and I don't know enough about this topic, but I will bring it up anyway. There's something about the Jungian shadow, the shadow self, that if you don't acknowledge your darker motivations and you pretend to be a saint, then you can never find a way to healthily process it.
Yeah.
And I feel like you have found a way to healthily process,
Yeah, but my initial shock was the same. Because when I felt those feelings, because it is sadism, it's sadism. I like to hurt. And when I at first felt that, I was shocked the same way some viewers might be shocked when they hear this. Because, like, how can she go with a guy like that? And what you're saying is, I think, very true. That if you try to be a saint, you close your eyes to those darker parts of yourself that we all have. And I think it's way more safe and productive to keep those darker sides in your sight. And to deal, like you say, deal with them, and find a healthy way to deal with them. Because I think that of course, if I wouldn't take this seriously and not be in touch with it and just go with it, I would be the source of a lot of Me Too stories, of course. But because I now, let's say it rose a conflict in me. And I discovered I am a sadist. That rose a conflict with wanting to be a good person. And the thing is, what a lot of people don't understand is that you can be a good person and still have those feelings and act on them, as long as the subject of that action wants it too. Because then there is no problem nowhere. The only problem arises if you get like some sort of conservative idiot that wants to make a decision for her, that says what she wants is not healthy and what you want is not healthy. And it's akin to the abortion discussion, with a lot of people that don't have wombs saying a lot of things, about when a child is a child, what has to be done. And I always remember, like 4 years ago, when all this talking about abortion again started, there was a TV interview, and there was a woman there that was like the age of my mom that fought for the right to have abortion, and she just started the interview with that she said, "I want to say something. I want to say that I am shocked, amazed, and surprised that I'm sitting here talking about this again."
Is it like in the conversation in Netherlands?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
And like 4 years ago was this, and it's still talking about, because there has been a sort of resurgence of conservative energy.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, people think it's okay again to say, yeah, maybe abortion shouldn't be allowed. Where does it come from? It's into my eyes, it's idiotic. To me, I'm totally with this woman to say, we have had this discussion, and we have made it into law. Law is not totally... we have even this week, there's a discussion in the Dutch parliament, because they want to change the law to make it, because now it is so that officially abortion is still illegal unless, and it should be legal unless. That's the thing, and they think that it could be used as a sort of loophole to turn that around, to say, yeah, but the law still says it's illegal unless blah 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 blah, this and that. So to go back to your point about it, I think the problem is that there are a lot of people that try to decide something for somebody else while not knowing what they're talking about. So if there are people watching who are afraid for your safety with me, they don't understand what it is I do, because I would never be detrimental to somebody's safety, because somebody's safety is my priority too. Because, for example, if you would be my sub, and I would like to use you for stuff, I like to use you, and I don't want to break you, and that I don't can use you anymore, or do stuff to you that you so dislike that you don't want to do something with me again. That's what people seem not to understand. But it's understandable, because I think a lot of dominants, of people who call themselves dominants, don't understand this as well. Mm-hmm. I've heard so many horror stories about, especially starting subs, about what some, and mostly guys, it's mostly guys, that's just the thing, women do. There are also women who manipulate and stuff, but it's mostly guys. And they really prey on people new to BDSM, because they don't know yet that they have all these safeties in place, and that it should be about the sub. The sub decides what happens and stuff. So there are a lot of people that prey on the new ones. So in response to that, I always take every opportunity to give people good information about this, especially people who are interested in starting BDSM. I always say that if somebody tells you this is how BDSM goes, that's not true, because everybody makes it their own. I see BDSM as a sort of adult playground. People can be what they want. And when somebody starts saying this is how it's supposed to be, they don't understand it. Because it's not supposed to be anything. It's supposed to be what you want it to be. And that's, I think, how you see it. And not everybody in the BDSM scene agrees to this. There's a bit of a sort of conflict between the older generations and the newer generations. And there comes the whole woke mindset maybe into it as well. The difference is that the older generations had to deal with BDSM being totally in the shadows, and that's the difference. They were still to today. Sadism and SM is illegal in Belgium. You could get to go to jail if you do that, even with somebody who wants to do it.
I'm in Belgium right now, so I can't be talking to you.
You can talk about it, he cannot do it. If I, but it hasn't been used at law in years. But there is a very famous case about a judge that has been turned in a book as well. That went to jail, I think, or at least got a fine for doing BDSM. So I lost my train of thought. Ask me a question.
No, I got it. No, I mean, for me, this would be a good time to kind of wrap up because I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of have a good feel of, how you would be on camera and like how the flow of conversation would go. So the rest of it is just for us to get to know each other better in private.
Yeah.
But yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure what to expect, but this was cool.
Yeah, same for me. I was still thinking, is it gonna be a scam somewhere? Because when you sent me the link, even when you sent me the link, I was thought, if I click this, it's gonna say like you have to pay $100 to continue, or something like that. Because I didn't know, but the way you presented it and the subjects matter and stuff, I thought this is worth it to just see through, huh? And now that I talk to you like this, I'm thinking, yeah, this might be really a thing. Yeah, very good talking to you. And how do you want to proceed now?
What I would like to do is maybe exchange something to get off of OkCupid, so like
Yes,
Signal
yes.
or WhatsApp, whichever one you're on. I prefer not to use WhatsApp, but
Yeah, WhatsApp is cool with me.
okay. And basically, I'm talking to other guys, just so
Yes,
you know.
of course.
And there's just going to be like an interview process with all of the people who I potentially want to go out with. And either I will pick someone for the entire trip or I will split it up and like do one guy per country. So.
Oh yeah, that I'd be interested in that as well, because that makes it a little more hopper. And it's for you. You can get a change of flavor in guy that in every country. Yeah. Okay, that's good. I'll just keep in touch, and also tell me if I'm not gonna be it.
Absolutely. No, I wouldn't just leave you hanging like that, especially because we've gone to the trouble of talking to each other. So you can definitely expect open communication from me.
Okay.
And yeah, I know that it's mostly you that I spoke about, and so you might have some questions for me about.
My main question was about how we're gonna stay. Yeah, I thought, is it gonna be hotels? Is it gonna be in a tent or something? But like you say, you're trying to get a camper van. That's interesting to me. And you already told me about like a bit of the workflow, like work a day, relax a few days, work a day, relax a few days. I was wondering, you said you're gonna visit different sustainability projects. In my mind, that's things like a sustainable farm, somebody who builds solar panels in a new way, somebody who has found out a way to make sustainable doors out of whatever kind of material something is. Am I on the right track with things like that?
Yes. So basically, I kind of split up the countries by specialty. So, as you might know, Portugal has a lot of eco villages. Spain has a lot of like permaculture products.
Yeah.
Netherlands has a lot of technology and agricultural advances, as well as infrastructure. And then Belgium might have a lot of policies coming out of Brussels that are interesting to talk about.
Yes.
And I have some, like for example, I have a connection with somebody at the American Chamber of Commerce in Brussels. So it might be interesting to talk to him about what the sustainable border, or what is it called whenever you import something,
I don't know.
like the rules about importing things from the States. And so like that might be interesting for Belgium. And then France, Macron is doing a lot of interesting policies. So it would be interesting to talk to people who are affected by the policies to see how they're adapting. So yeah, that's the kind of thought process I had of like, going by country and topic and yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, after talking to you, I'm hoping it's going to be me because I really I enjoy that kind of thing. Because if to me that's very interesting, those new things and eco villages, and for me it's also. Um, I have been thinking about something like an eco village a long time for myself, and I don't know if I'll do it, but I'd like to explore things like that. And also, I have a very wide. Let's say I started a lot of educations and I finished almost none, but I have very wide interest, and so I'm in all the things that you just spoke of. All hold an interest to me, and yeah, so I'm quite excited about all this. And let's see if I have another question for you. Yes, that was another question I had. How about expenses? Do you expect me to financially add to the whole process, or are you going to be paying for me for my food and stuff? And so, how is it going to work?
What's really great is that a lot of these projects that we visit, they are self-sufficient and
Hmm.
they're accustomed to having volunteers. So I think that food costs will actually be quite low.
Yeah.
And then we don't have gas costs because it's electric powered.
Oh
And
yeah.
so we can really crowdfund the majority of the trip and come in under budget compared to other people who would do something like this because of those two things. So I think we're in for actually a pretty easy
Yeah,
ride.
because I am not against paying to sustain myself for food and stuff, but I don't have I don't have the means to pay for anything else. So it's just what the expectation is. It's not how do I say. I don't expect to get paid for it. That's not my intention in it. But I don't want to. It shouldn't be a burden on my finances. That's the
No, no,
point.
no, no. I maybe I should put it in my profile, but I do intend to crowdfund for it.
Okay, yeah, great.
And
And
these interviews are a way of getting people interested in and seeing like, okay, what are we going to be paying for?
yeah, I understand. I understand. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah,
And you
very
know what?
interesting.
Actually, I thought
Hmm?
maybe no, I don't want to do that. But maybe no, I'm not going to do that. I was going
Yeah,
to
but tell
say
me what it is, because I'm very interested now. Interested
no.
now.
I was thinking that part of the crowdfunding that there could be tiers of like people that they want to see in which country based on the interviews. But I'm
Well, I
like,
think. Are you interested in? I think it's called game theory or something. Is that a thing for you? Because the way you presented all this to me was very game theory like, and I also think that voting for stuff is very into the people's minds, the voice and all that kind of shit. And I don't know if you would want that
I
because
don't
it
think so either.
yeah, because you
Because
give
I want to
away
get along with the person, so I wouldn't want
exactly
other people dictating that.
exactly. You should be the one dictating who goes there. So I shouldn't do that. But I think you should. What you could do is let people vote on which places you visit.
Yeah,
That could work.
yeah.
Because then you also have like a sort of poll about what is interesting to people. So it's a double-sided sword, maybe already. Yeah, yeah, a very interesting project. And like I said, also on the app, I think it's admirable that you are willing to do this. And as I'm talking to you, I also think you are doing it and you will do it. And it's not something that is only a dream. It's something you're really doing. And apparently you're good at it, the way you're talking about it. So, yeah, well, yeah, I don't think I have much questions. Yeah, what was not really clear to me, but also not clear to you exactly. Then I think that's how long the trip will take. But yeah,
That's something that we can decide together
yeah,
because it also depends on the person's availability.
yeah.
So we can tailor according to that. And then, as I said, if it turns out that most people don't have enough time, then we can just do it by country.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I do have the time, and I have no things I got to be. It's just I don't want to be away for half a year. That's the thing.
Neither do I.
Right, okay,
I
more. Yeah,
think 2 months max.
must make that would be my max too. I think, and then it would be like, and it would be over the summer. Then I think,
About, yeah.
yeah. It's gonna be hot then in Spain and Portugal. That is gonna be a thing. But still, yeah, yeah.
But
Like I said,
that means that we can travel more if it's hot.
oh, that's right, because the sun makes us thrive. I forgot about that. We need that. We need to go in the summer. Otherwise, you got this. It will be like a sailboat then. If it's not. This is a fantasy because it doesn't work like that. But explorers of the old that went with a sailing boat. They had sometimes that they had days without wind, and you just float around on the ocean. With a car that only drives on solar, you can have the same thing. If you have 3 days of rain, you can be stuck in a place because it cannot drive anymore. But in reality, that's not the case because you can probably also. It takes little, even when it rains, it still takes energy from the sun, and it's probably also possible to put in a plug-in. I think with that
Yeah,
thing,
probably.
yeah. So if you get that camper van, I'm hoping even more that's going to be me because that's also very interesting to me. Because if I ever want to buy a camper van again, it has to be something like that, you know. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
it's just so dreamy. It's like so perfect. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. If that would work. Well, yeah, okay. I'm very excited, and I hope to hear from you. I shall send you my phone number on OkCupid, and then you can send me a text on WhatsApp, and we can keep in touch.
Very
Okay,
nice.
great.
Great getting to know you.
Yeah, was too.
Yeah,
Have
talk
a good
later.
day. Bye
Bye bye.
bye.
Wait, how much did I save? For removing one car from our roads for 30 things. Ah, cool, cool, cool.